Hello, my name is Mechagodzilla, and guess what? The Fox Network picked up my animated sitcom for a 13-episode season, and it's going to air in the animation domination block in the fall. Hang on. I understand. It appears that my show has been cancelled. Well, since I am no longer under contract with the Fox Network, I am going to fly into the stratosphere and destroy the Fox News building from orbit. But first, I am going to do a commentary on Family Guy, a once beloved animated series that was watched by millions of people on cable television, but now it is a background noise show that is watched by a few thousand people on YouTube channels that are run by Chinese hackers. No, it's not any of the episodes Mr. Enter reviewed, cause at least those atrocious animations made that pedophile miserable. No, instead I am going to review a modern episode that people like, and think that it is relevant with the current zeitgeist. The episode in question is the D in Apartment 23, and if my face wasn't made of metal, I would have cringed my head out of existence. I mean, am I the only one on this planet who hasn't lost their mind? Even LS Mark gave this episode a pass in his 5-hour Family Guy review. Well, let's not beat around the bush for 20 minutes like Mr. End My Life and start this corporate crapfest. Sorry. I just can't look anymore. The colors are so hideous. Just drag a screen cap into Adobe Color and look at the putrid paint swatch that is the result. Then compare the living rooms before and after their precious HD conversion. Why the hell did they change this? The old colors looked fine.
Thanks for driving me to the library for story time, Brian.
Hey Mechanicon, thanks for taking me to John Paul Jones Arena, where the rock concert is at, so I can scalp the tickets I won in a radio contest that I called on my cell phone that I bought at the Apple Store on October 15th. Because that's how people talk, right?
I'm just saying, we should go to the library at Quahog University and take your education to a higher level.
Education in what? He could teach at that school.
I guess I can try it. I mean, I do want to get ahead. I don't want to end up like Meg doing sad one-woman shows.
Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty.
What's the joke? It's just mega dressed as Oscar the Grouch singing I love trash word for word. You know, I used to like the cutaways cause they were always 5 to 10 seconds long and were like Far Side cartoons. And no, that's not my silly opinion, that's literally how Seth MacFarlane describes it.
Oh yeah, that's good library.
Very convenient to have the lobby entirely inhabited by pretty girls.
So, who you reading?
George Eliot.
Ah, Georgie. I'm a big fan. I think she said it best when she said, Bantam Press 1851.
Let me give you some lady advice, Brian. You can tell by the tone of her voice that she is not interested. This is the point, where you move on, but in the event she replies in a more patient manner, instead of pretending you know what you're talking about, when you don't, why don't you ask about this George Eliot offer? And then this is the most important part, you listen. Girls like guys who listen.
Lumineers?
What?
Hmm?
You just said Lumineers with no context.
Did I do that?
You know, in older episodes Brian was smoother with women, or at least was smart enough to know that Steve Urkel impressions aren't an attractive way to be funny, especially when you do the impression wrong. You are supposed to emphasize the I and the that.
Wow, I've never seen someone go 0 for 6 in 15 minutes before. Just hard rejection after hard rejection.
That would have been funnier if you cut out the flirting. Watch. I'll do it right now.
Oh yeah, that's good library.
Oh, you didn't come here for me. You came to be a creep. Whatever, you go do your thing. Wow, I've never seen someone go 0 for 6 in 15 minutes before.
It has more of a comedic impact, since the joke wasn't dragged out and wasn't uncomfortable with that awkward scene.
In the 90s, you just pull a fire alarm. Now you hold a protest. That is, when they're not looking down at their phones.
Phone's bad, lead paint good.
Hey, what's going on?
Someone wrote weird on the transgender bathroom and the school president didn't overreact, so we want him fired.
I'm so happy we live in a decade where people take what limited free time they have to stand up for their fellow students against bigots. I'm glad that we no longer live in the times where it was dangerous to come out as a gay or trans person cause you didn't know who your allies were. So practice your right to assembly, young people. Make the bigots who vandalized the bathroom sweat.
And last week, a professor told his class to have a nice day, which is microaggression, because in our systemic rape culture, no day is a nice day. So we want him fired too.
Nobody ever said anything in close semblance to that. You are building up a straw man to be knocked down, just like South Park did with PC Principal.
Hey, if you don't want to get fired, don't become a teacher, right?
But on planet Earth the phrase is, if you don't want to get fired, become a teacher.
I am back in the game, see? Up, you're gone. And the crowd is gone. And the animators are gone.
Nice try, but everybody knows this show is now animated by robots like me.
0 retweets, 0 likes. Yeah, viral.
You know, it would be more interesting that Brian would actually gain traction on Twitter, seeing that he is a dog that went on Bill Maher and held Adam West at gunpoint. Maybe the internet fame would get to his head, which is why he does the racist tweet later on. And yes, it is racist. Watch.
About to see the new Kevin Hart movie. Just kidding, I'm white and went to college.
The subject of the joke is that people who think Kevin Hart is funny are uneducated, but why did he have to include he is white, unless he thinks black people are uneducated? Those kinds of jokes only work if you make fun of the stereotype, but there was no nuance to what he said. It was hardly a joke at all, but the observation of a decrepit boomer.
Hey, are you at Dog Backwards from Twitter?
I am! Are you a fan?
You racist jerk! I hope you get foot and mouth disease!
Kind of convenient that this woman not only uses Twitter but caught the trend of some random tweet that got some traffic and then just happened to be at the same movie theater as Brian at the same time.
There he is!
Where? I'm in the back!
How did they know where he was? Wow. They all must be really good runners to follow him all the way from the movie theater back to his house. And isn't he a dog? Why didn't he outrun them by using all 4 of his legs? Or use his small stature to duck somewhere until they went by?
What were you thinking writing that tweet?
What? It was just a joke!
Brian, it's not 2005. You can't just go online and say whatever you want.
Why not? Donald Trump did and he was elected president. He only got suspended after he told his supporters to commit treason.
Yeah, remember how mad people got when DiGiorno tweeted about domestic violence? And they're not even a guy, they're pizza!
No one remembers that and it didn't hurt their business. This shit is cyclical.
What about all those people outside?
They'll see that I deleted it, and it'll all blow over, trust me.
And it does. The only people who get seriously mad about shit like this get bored and find something else to complain about. Not everyone who is called out for their racist crap on Twitter is Michael Richards.
They're still pretty mad at me down at Dick's Sporting Goods. What's the name of this place?
Dicks?
And what's that say on your shirt?
This cutaway goes on for 20 seconds. I am going to edit the episode again to show that you don't need to drag out this joke.
They're still pretty mad at me down at Dick's Sporting Goods. What's the name of this place?
If you haven't noticed it already, the new episodes tend to explain the jokes. Watch this clip from another episode.
How are all your business trips?
Oh, exemplary, Chris.
I don't understand what either of those words mean.
One of them was Chris.
Except you had to explain it to me. If you have to explain a joke, there is no joke.
Hey, Sid, happy Mango Monday.
To save you the trouble, Lois basically spends a full minute being snubbed by the stock clerks of her favorite grocery store. There is no joke. Also, there is another pet peeve I want to mention, not about the episode in particular but something that I'm not going to have a chance to talk about again. See this? This shot reverse shot where the person in the foreground has an unnecessary dark shadow over his or her back. This shit has been going on since the 9th season and I'm goddamn sick of it. This is a cartoon, not a soap opera. Get creative with your angles. At least Dark Matter 2525 has an excuse for being lazy for 10 years.
Your dog wrote an insensitive tweet. You can't eat here.
Uh-oh, Meg. It's a sensitivity mob.
That's not a real thing.
It was just a joke.
There's no such thing as jokes anymore.
Yeah, we live in a post-joke world.
If there are no jokes anymore, why is your shitty show still on the air? Also, look at how generic and bland looking the background characters are in these new seasons. In the old days, the background characters were hand-drawn and had distinct designs, but I am now convinced that the animators use an app to make the characters and drag them into the scene. So anyway, they reenact the church scene in Kingsman: The Secret Service, but I don't know. It would make sense why Meg is such a good fighter, since she is a Russian sleeper agent, but I see Chris as more of a brawler like his old man and would not be this coordinated or use as many weapons. Don't these people have jobs? It's like I'm watching Christmas with the Cranks.
This is getting out of control. We can't leave the house without getting harassed.
Why don't they call the cops? They are always protecting racists from protesters.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to apologize.
Why did you say ladies first? That's sexist.
That sounds less like something a progressive would say and more something that a far-right heckler would say when an activist is trying to speak.
Humans in the audience.
I identify as a basketball.
Did they really just make an Apache helicopter joke in Family Guy? Who writes this crap? Dave Rubin.
Now you're tone policing us!
That makes me uncomfortable. Anything that makes me uncomfortable in 2017 should be illegal.
You mean how conservatives kept gay marriage illegal? This episode has the enlightenment of a preacher you add and could be summed up as every old fart in this country going Granted, this rant was well acted out by Seth MacFarlane. It's hard to feel sympathy for Brian when he's a scumbag in the first act and his tweet was actually racist.
I am not the person those people out there say I am.
Yes, you are, and if those people knew everything else about you, they'd tie your limbs to 4 cars and get the accelerator. That would make the episode really funny.
We think you should move out.
What?
Oh, Brian, listen, we love you, but they're throwing things at our house. We've got to keep our family safe.
The only time this happened to an actual person was once in New Jersey. The so-called victim in question was a New Jersey man who, in a drunken tirade, got in a verbal altercation with his black neighbor while being filmed with a bystander's phone. Upon seeing that he was being filmed, the man in question then proceeded to egg on the entire black population of America and gave out his address, and naturally there were protesters. In short, the guy had it coming. If Brian's tweet were to get picked up, then what would really happen is that someone would dox Brian, they would get a couple visitors and have stuff like dildos mailed to their house, and Brian moving out would not solve the problem. But that's only if the doxing happened, since history shows that most doxing comes from internet trolls from the far right.
Are you serious? You're okay with this?
Does this slow pan across our disapproving faces answer your question? I saw Baywatch. That thing was frickin' rad.
First off, no it wasn't. Everything with Dwayne Johnson sucks. Secondly, remember when Family Guy was about the Family Guy? Stop making Peter Griffin the comic relief. It doesn't work. Oh look, the protesters are gone. It's almost as if they moved on and he doesn't have to leave.
I still think this is a drastic measure. Yeah, I messed up, but what about all the stupid things Peter's done? He's never been kicked out in his life.
My life is not the issue here.
There were so many jokes that could have been done here that would have been better. Let me list a few.
This collar is ours. It has our address on it.
You mean the address everyone knows already? Also, you didn't have to take the color, just take the tag. I'd keep going, but the rest of the episode is much of nothing happening. Brian just moves into a dangy studio apartment and has to put up with the bad utilities and a pair of poor degenerates as his neighbors. There is no humor to this. This might have been a more interesting concept if you compressed why he was kicked out into the first 5 minutes. It would have also helped if this story arc went on longer and we had an entire season of A and B plots, but no. I will never understand why the showrunners never change things up when live-action sitcoms do it all the time and Family Guy is a sure thing in ratings. Nor will I ever understand why it is still on the air despite it being just a dreadful factory-made and outright bland series that doesn't have any semblance of the charm that made it so popular in the first place. At least it is, when it is not stealing jokes from The Office.
I've been charged with improving brewery productivity, and it has become clear to me that the best way to start is by canceling office birthdays.
And actually, guys, I'm encouraging branches to consider a freeze on discretionary spending. Petty cash, supplies, and, parties, things like that.
Stealing jokes from Seinfeld.
Yes, of course, Bozo the Clown. What other bozos are there? I don't know, Bozo the tax accountant?
I mean, Bozo the Clown. I mean, does he really need the clown in his title as clown? Bozo the Clown. Are we going to confuse him with Bozo the District Attorney? Bozo the Pope? There's no other Bozo.
Stealing jokes from Harvey Birdman.
Sure didn't work for Droopy Dog when he got that facelift.
Contrary to my appearance, I'm still not happy.
And your doctor suggested Botox to solve the problem.
Yes.
Tell us, what happened?
Well, I think he used too much.
Stealing jokes from Key and Peele.
It appears you've got something on your shirt.
Is that so?
But I must have got some paper towel fuzz on your shirt, so.
Pushing white nationalist propaganda.
The internet pretty much only lets us fire white males, so if you're not a white male, you're safe.
Being transphobic.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Or being just downright cringe.
Let me introduce you to the other Dons. Don Duck, Donkey Kong.
Fuck this show forever, and now I am going to destroy the Fox News building. Well, if it isn't Pillar Rittenhouse, here for an interview with Tucker Carlson. Well, now it's a field report.
Come on, man!
Hey cutie, we still on for my birthday celebration?
Wouldn't miss it for the world, my love, but I need you to meet me at your weed dead drop. I have a present for you.
Perfect, I was on my way there.
Last stop, you murdering sack of shit.
No! Hey, ballers! We recognize you, bitch. Hey, motherfucker, you on ballers' turf.
Help me! Shit! What the shit? Mommy!
Rot in hell, you little bitch.
I'm sorry our sitcom was cancelled, but I still have the pilot episode on file, and maybe we can make that show a reality starting tonight.
Maybe we could start on the American Sniper's grave.
You read my mind. You want to send us off?
Yes. Well, that's all for now. Later, skaters.